Hi, I'm Lou Mancuso, the landing doctor. Today I'm going to tell you about the Bristell. The Bristell is made by BRM Aero in the Czech Republic. This plane is 9 years old. I'm going to tell you about this plane and then some of the improvements we've made since then. The Bristell is an all-aluminum plane with carbon fiber in various places to keep the weight down. For example, the cowling of the plane is carbon fiber. And you can notice here with these screws, they're slotted screws, and you'll notice no scratches in the cowling because with a slotted screw, the screwdriver doesn't slip off, and these are all quick donning Zeus fasteners. The nose wheel here has nose wheel steering, and there are two steering rods that actuate left and right to steer the nose wheel. This one only has one steering cable, and it's been fine for 9 years, but the newer ones have two cables for redundancy. Here we have an outside probe, which gives you OAT information. And then here you'll notice there's 14 inches of wing root spar that extends all the way down to the end. When you get in, you don't have to step over a flap, you step onto the wing. And this is made of heavy gauge aluminum, so there'll be no stress on the wing in years to come. The wing attaches with massive bolts here, has 157 VNE, which means it's very strong. And then there's 3,400 rivet heads, which are all cherry rivets, and they're all filled with two-part epoxy, sanded and painted. Each wing has a wing locker that holds 44 pounds, and there's a custom bag that goes in there, and they are lockable. The landing gear here is made out of fiberglass, and it's in laminate layers, and it takes up some of the shock on a landing for smoother landings. And these gear legs have been changed on this plane. They were about $700, and maybe every 8 or 9 years, every, I don't know, 500 hours, you may have to replace the gear legs. The fuel has locking caps, holds 16 gallons on each side, which gives over 6 hours of endurance. Here you notice the landing light on each side. They're LED bulbs, which are very low draw. And this plane originally did not have LED bulbs, and they came out with a replacement panel here. We replaced the entire assembly to make it the same LED bulbs that are on the newer Bristells, retrofitted to this 2011. Here we have very strong metal for the front of the wing to protect the plane for a bird strike. And then here, where it doesn't really matter, it's very light gauge aluminum to keep the weight down. So we use a strong aluminum where it's needed and light aluminum where it's not. As we come around here, you'll notice there's LED bulbs again on the wing tips. And here is a fuel vent which vents the fuel system, and that you do on your pre-flight to make sure it's clear. And here you'll notice there's a full-length piano hinge on the ailerons, which is the best you can get. This has aileron trim, and that also is piano hinge. And then one of the unique things about a Bristell is there's push rod controls. If you can come underneath here and get this, Betty, you can see that's a push rod tube. And you'll find push rods on an $800,000 Mooney Ovation and also on a Bristell. You will not find them on Cessna's, Piper, or Beech, which use cables. Push rod is better. Here the flap has these strong flat hinge points in 3 places, and flap runs the length of the wing. This particular Bristell has a 30-foot wing, and we now offer it in a 27-foot wing, which gives you lighter weight and added performance. This plane, as it sits, weighs 754 pounds, and with the shorter wing, they can weigh 12 pounds lighter. The plane is entered over here through this canopy, which we'll show later. The step makes it easy to get in. And again, you have aluminum fuselage, lightweight aluminum here. It doesn't have to be all that strong. Comm antenna. Now we come down to the horizontal stabilizer. And initially, they did not have these balance weights initially. It just ended here. and they would occasionally at high speeds on some planes have a slight flutter. So now all the new ones have these balance weights, and this plane was retrofitted to be like the new planes with the balance weight. As we come around the back, you'll see a full-length piano hinge for the elevator, which is the best you can get, and a full-length hinge for the elevator trim. And again, if you come in here, you can see push rod control for the elevator, the best you can get. The rudder is made of carbon fiber. Again, Milan's passion for keeping the weight down means the Bristell climbs a lot better than other planes that weigh 100 pounds heavier. Again, strobe for the tail, LED, access panel, come around this side, and basically repeats what's on the other side. And we'll go around, we'll end up at the cowling and talk a little bit about engine and propeller choices. So here we have our pitot tube. All Bristells come with a heated pitot in our packages. This one has an external power plug. The engines, the Bristell comes with 4 choices of engines. You can have the 100 horsepower Rotax, which has dual aneroid carburetors, which means you do not need a mixture control. It also has dual electric starting packs and a starter that's located in the back of the engine, so you do not have a flywheel and a Bendix drive that can cause you problems. There's no alternator because the Rotax engine has a stator which produces 18 amps electricity, enough to run the LED bolts. We also have a 912 IS Sport engine by Rotax, which is fuel injection, eliminates the carburetors, and can have a fuel burn as low as 4 gallons an hour when operated in eco mode at about 5,000 RPM. Then there's the 914 turbocharged engine, which is the 80 horsepower Rotax engine with a turbocharger on it. That gives you 115 horsepower, which is limited for 5 minutes for takeoff, or during flight if you need to climb, you can use it again there. Cannot be used continuously. Then we have the top of the line 915 Rotax, which produces 142 horsepower, and that is turbocharged and intercooled. It has bigger pistons, and the pistons are oil-injected pistons to keep the engine cool, along with the radiator, the air. It has a powerful scoop that forces cool air onto the intercooler to keep the temps down, and it has an electronic control unit like the 912 IS that electronically controls the mixture and the manifold pressure. So it's all fully automated, and this plane, the 915, has a surface ceiling of 25,000 and a practical ceiling of 18,000, which is as high as you're allowed to fly with using portable oxygen. This has a feedy propeller, which is the standard prop that comes with each plane. We also offer Duke props and sensor niche props and various props for different performance, and set them at different settings depending on what you want to do. So that's Lou Mancuso, the landing doctor, and that's our Bristell.